The border of Kosovo is now even causing debates internally, with President Thaci stating that the Presevo Valley must be included, while Prime Minister Haradinaj said that reopening the border discussion is unacceptable. There is a long queue of citizens entering Albania at the Marina border point. The vehicle drivers say that this situation is not normal even at the peak of the tourist season and appeal for a solution. The opposition has raised concerns about the state of the Albanian economy, with DP MP Jurita Tabaku and the Economic Affairs Advisor analysing indicators that speak of a deteriorating economic situation. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Wednesday the 8th of August 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. The US State Department called on Kosovo and Serbia to avoid negative rhetoric and work together for an agreement that ensures consistency for both countries and the region. A State Department spokesman told the media outlet Voice of America that the policy of this administration is stable. The essence of any agreement for the normalisation of relations between Kosovo and Serbia should come from the parties themselves. We will continue to support both sides and the European Union as facilitators. Kosovo and Serbia must reach an agreement that is practical, sustainable, and does not create instability in either country or region. This will require foresight and elasticity on both sides. We encourage the parties to take full ownership of the process, reduce negative rhetoric, and work together constructively. In the last days, the ideas put forward by both parties on Kosovo's land division, territorial exchange, or border correction have been added to the process of normalising relations between Kosovo and Serbia. The talks are expected to resume in September and should lead to a comprehensive, legally binding agreement for the normalisation of relations between Kosovo, entering their 11th year of independence, and Serbia, who continue not to acknowledge it. This agreement is a condition for both sides to advance on their path towards European Union integration. Despite the internationals appealing for compromise, both the Kosovo President Hashim Thaci and Prime Minister Ramush Haradinaj have not changed their position on this issue. At a special conference held to address this, President Thaci said he has requested correction to ensure no change is made to Kosovo's border. According to him, this means correction of the borders for which there should be an agreement. But what does Thaci mean by correcting the borders? Representatives of the Presevo Valley, according to him, have asked that Lugina, Medvedja and Bujanovac become part of Kosovo. I am committed to reaching an agreement, and after the request of Presevo representatives, I proposed correcting the border with Serbia as the only opportunity to legitimise the demands of the Albanians there. This means no separation for Kosovo, not autonomy for Serbs. Correction of borders means the full attachment of Lugina, Medvedja and Bujanovac to the Republic of Kosovo. It should be a transparent and peaceful process between Kosovo and Serbia, said Hashim Thaci. But Prime Minister Haradinaj, during an official visit to Vlora, was also determined when he said that the borders were set as a result of war and that reopening the issue was unacceptable. Unfortunately for the Balkan people, the wars have been tragic in the past, and today's reality is entirely the result of the epilogues of those wars. The opening of the border issue is unacceptable to me. What I am pro is that January 1st should see customs unified between Kosovo and Albania. This is a political rhetoric. Belgrade makes a statement, Pristina responds, but in the end, the borders are not moved by words. We fortunately live in democracy, but the borders are divided as a result of the epilogues of wars. No borders should be touched, said Ramush Haradinaj. According to the Kosovo president, the possibility of reaching a final agreement with Serbia is minimal. Serbian counterpart Aleksandar Vučić said on the same day that it would be very difficult to have an agreement. Regarding the agreements reached in the process of political dialogue, President Thaci said that all agreements will be implemented, including that of the establishment of the Association of Serb-Majority Municipalities. Injuries caused by road accidents and jumps from heights into the sea are currently the most common causes of medical emergencies. In both cases, the consequences can be fatal or can cause invalidity to the highest degree. During July, the National Emergency Medical Services carried out 21 missions by air, and 12,000 people called 127 to seek help in an emergency or receive advice from doctors. There were 12,323 calls. A very worrying fact is that there is an increasing number of tourists at the beach areas, and this is causing us problems with accidents, both in regards to traffic incidents and also water-related accidents. We have had several cases with foreign citizens, in particular Polish citizens, who have suffered severe spine injuries and in some cases have even become paralysed, said Dr. Skender Brataj. Director of the National Medical Emergency Services, Dr. Skender Brataj, said August has kicked off with a large number of medical emergencies, with 3,200 requests for help in the first week alone. The biggest damages in almost 99% of cases occurring from sea trauma are cervical collapse. Knowing that the cervical column controls the 4 limbs and the diaphragm, this kind of trauma can cause quadriplegia, paralysis of all limbs, paraplegia, paralysis of the legs, or even paralysis of the diaphragm, which will cause immediate death, warned Dr. Skender Brataj. Other emergencies related to cardiac diseases, tension problems, diabetes, and cases of people with self-inflicted injuries due to the use of toxic substances. The peak of the tourist season has once again brought long queues to the Marina border point. With long snaking lines present, especially in the first days of the month, the citizens hope the situation will change as a result of the customs unification between the two countries. Such unification is expected to reduce the procedures. However, currently it has been stated that the waiting time is more than normal. Currently, there is no wait time for those exiting Albania into Kosovo, but if a large number of people all arrive at the same time, it could create a queue. To make passage across the border as fast as possible, a new border crossing point in Marina with 12 lanes and a new bypass for trucks has been created. However, in reality, this has not changed anything. Although the tourist season started 2 months ago, lifeguard watchtowers continue to be unmanned in Pogradec, an undesirable situation as the city is a favourite destination for tourists. Tourists have expressed concern over this matter. They say their lives are endangered as the lack of lifeguards on the riverbank makes swimming much more of a risk. Furthermore, the holidaymakers say that the placement of a guard is a requirement for the safety of their lives. As such, they appealed for the situation to be resolved urgently. The municipality of Pogradec accepted that there is a problem, but shifted the blame to the company tended to provide the guards. Rushdie Humadlari, a specialist in the tourism sector, says that 30 young people are expected to be certified, but the problem remains that their certification has not yet been approved. Pogradec is known as one of the most preferred cities during the tourist season. The lack of monitoring towers this year has become a serious concern, as there are cases of people who have lost their lives in Lake Ohrid. During June, the number of seasonal employees reached about 19,000. The tourist season in the country, beyond increasing the presence of foreign tourists, has also contributed to an increase in the number of, mostly young, employees working along the coast. During August, employment expectations are even greater because it is considered the month with the largest increase of vacationers along the coast. According to data from the General Directorate of Taxation, this figure has been extracted from the declaration of newly employed, those who continue to work, and dismissals. Durrës is the city that has the highest number of seasonally employed youth, totalling 7,657, followed by Vlora with 4,200, then Saranda, Shkodra and Leja. The General Directorate of Taxation states that about 370 taxpayers were found with undeclared employees who were included in the Social Security and Health Insurance scheme as a consequence of the controls exercised during this period. The Democratic Party has continued to accuse the Rama government of demolishing the country's economy. At a press conference, Deputy Economy Chair Yudhoyuda Tabaku said that there is currently $75 million missing from the state budget due to lack of taxes and closure of businesses. According to the DP MP Tabaku, the inclusion of 11,500 subjects in the VAT tax was not for the formalisation of the economy, but for the favouring of some large entities operating in the trade sector, as it results to have collected less income. The government tries to cover their economic failure by using international reports. However, the truth is different. Within the first 6 months of the state's cash register, there is no 75 million. This shows the increase in informality, but also the fact that businesses are experiencing difficulties today, said Yudhoyuda Tabaku. According to Dorian Taliti, the deterioration of the economic situation has come from incorrect governmental policy, stressing that investments have not been realised. Budget incomes should increase with at least 6%, but have increased by only 3%. The government either accepts the failure of its policies and that the economy is in crisis, or accepts that corruption has spread to every cell of state structures, said Dorian Taliti. According to the Blue headquarters, to cover the non-collection of the revenues in the budget, Prime Minister Rama has signed the Normative Act as the next setup for the economy that is embarking on a difficult road. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.